Folks, my guest tonight is a former Congresswoman from Wyoming who was the third most powerful Republican in the House and served on the January 6th committee. Her new book is Oath and Honor. Please welcome former Congresswoman Liz Cheney. Welcome to the show. Let's get straight to the heat of meat. There's the book, Oath and Honor. I look forward to talking to so many things that are in it and some of the implications of what you say here. But first, I love the story that when Nancy Pelosi wanted to appoint you to the January 6th committee, her aides went to her with a pile of things negative that you'd said about Nancy Pelosi. And her reaction was, why are you showing me these things that aren't important?
Right.
There's something more important, which is the Constitution of democracy and the rule of law and that kind of thing. In the spirit of that, I want to point out that over the years, I have made a few piquant jokes about you and your father. I don't know if you're aware, but don't expect you to watch the show.
No, I'm aware, and you're not getting off as easy as I did. But...
Ding, ding. I didn't expect to ever interview you, really. You voted to impeach your own party's president. You were high in the leadership of the Republican Party in Congress. Now you've been embraced by Democrats for really a courageous stand for what you believe is the rule of law and preserving the Constitution and our democracy in the face of an existential threat. And I'm curious, what is this moment like for you to be embraced by the people who vilified you and your family really for so long?
Well, I don't think about it that way. You know, look, I think it's weird, certainly.
It feels a little weird to me, too.
I'm sure. It's going around.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but I am recovering still from hearing about your appendix. So I want to say welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. Me too. Me too,
But no, look, I think that it's just a symptom and a symbol of how serious this moment is. That, you know, you and I would be sitting here, that I would have taken a spot on the select committee, you know, appointed by Nancy Pelosi. It tells you that there are some things that matter much, much more than politics. And Constitution is one of those.
Well, the January 6th committee uncovered a lot of events that led to the insurrection. But you write in your book that you noticed those red flags while they were happening. What were some of the reddest of those flags, and what did you do in response?
Yeah, I talk about the fact that after the election, there were signs. You know, I would sort of see these signs of parts of Donald Trump's efforts. Of course, at the time, I didn't know the whole picture. But, you know, for example, as we got in the days past the election, when it was clear that they didn't have the evidence to back up the claims that they were making. And so I, you know, put out a statement in mid-November saying, you know, put up or shut up. If you don't have evidence to back up these claims, then you need to respect the outcome of the election. You know, we need to move forward here. We also had signs that he had planning underway at the Pentagon that was very concerning. When he fired the Secretary of Defense after the election, in the weeks after that, you had people suggesting, Mike Flynn suggesting that Trump should deploy the military to seize ballot boxes, seize voting machines, rerun the election.
And at the same time, not just getting rid of the Secretary of Defense, but also installing some cronies at a high level over the Pentagon at the same time.
Exactly.
It really did seem like laying. And now Mike Flynn is someone that he might possibly put back into office or put back into service if he were elected again.
And I think that's a really important thing for people to remember. You know, you've had a lot of people suggest, well, don't worry, you know, our institutions can hold, our institutions can stand no matter what Donald Trump might do. And that's wrong. You know, we saw on January 6th that he was willing to attempt to seize power. He was willing to attempt to stay in office even though he'd lost the election. Didn't tell the mob to leave for over 3 hours while he watched it on television. And so
even
the idea,
after he knew someone had been shot.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that was so striking in the Select Committee's work, that he was handed a note saying that there had been a civilian who'd been shot at the entrance to the House chamber, And we had a White House witness who testified that they saw that note sitting on the table in front of him in his dining room as he watched the violent attack on television. I mean, that level of depravity is not something that we can simply ignore and walk away from.
We have to take a quick break, but we'll be right back with more Liz Cheney, everybody. Stick around.